So you've never really, I mean, up until this point, have you ever really had to deal with a lot of the constant like negativity and stuff like coming through on like the channel?
No. And that's the hardest thing because when I had like 7,000, 10,000 followers, it was very like almost personal in the
Sure.
sense where I knew the majority of my followers,
Yeah.
or I had worked with them
Yeah.
and knew them that way. And it was something where even then in my stories, I would share like moments of my personal life, like
Yeah.
when my parents did their vow renewal in Vegas, like I shared that trip in my
Yeah.
stories. It was great. And then as I started to grow, it was very apparent that like people just really didn't care.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm trying to still keep that like relationship and that connection, especially with
Sure.
the people that I do know, and just balancing it properly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was definitely when I started getting like that higher number of followers where I started experiencing more of the rude comments.
Yeah.
And at first it really was difficult for me. My husband's the witty, the quick comebacker, like the really funny one. And I'm kind of like the try not to take it personal.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it still kind of hurts me on the inside.
Yeah.
And so I ended up talking to another trainer. And one of my questions that I had for her was, how do you handle like rude comments?
Yeah.
Because she's also a balanced dog trainer. And I understand, like, I mean, even though we both get attacked, y'all get attacked a little bit more.
We're the kings of it.
So I asked her, like, how do you do this? And she was like, honestly, delete and block.
Yeah.
And at first I was really hesitant about it for some reason. And then after I started doing it, I was like, this is actually really good because one, it was really good for me where I'm not, because I would have people that would literally go into a post. They didn't follow me.
Yeah.
They didn't like have any form of engagement, but they would go to a post and then they would just go into individual
Reply
comments
to every single comment.
like
Yep.
Oh yeah.
repost the mean comment over and over again.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, and then I started realizing, I was like, hey, well, if we're at a point where you feel the need to post something criticizing or rude or attacking someone else, this is not the platform for you.
Yeah.
Or if you don't agree with X, Y, and Z, this is not the platform for you. So I started deleting and blocking, and it helped me personally. And it helped build almost like a community of people with like interests where I know it's a little bit of a safer area. And so it's something where I just don't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing with it. You know, I went through the phase of like deleting and blocking a lot of people because we went through some waves of like brutal weeks of just getting just smashed on different platforms with people. We've actually done a couple podcast episodes that are basically like our version of like David Reed's mean tweets.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I went through that for a while, and then I started like thinking about like, you get into then the scalability of the delete and block, right? So like, let's say your page grows from like 100,000 to like 500,000, right? And then 500,000 to 700,000 or whatever. Like you almost are going to hit a point at some point where you actually can't physically go in and delete and block everybody. You know what I mean? There's so much. So I've tried to really curate it to like, I don't want to, especially in the balanced dog training community. I think there's a big problem with balanced dog trainers pushing away any opposing view as well, right? So I try to leave, as long as people are not being like completely and utterly like absurd and attacking, and not even towards me. I don't give a shit about what they say towards me at this point, but towards other people. Like you were saying, like there's been people that have come on and like they'll go through every post you've made and reply to every person that is in the comment section of those. And it's like, that's absurd. Like you can't be doing that. Like you got to go, obviously. But I try to leave up some of just the general criticism and like have like a 3-second little, like, I'll give my point of view on the situation, and then I try to like out of sight, out of mind it, you know? But it's, I can't even imagine. I was listening to a podcast the other day with this guy, Roman Atwood, who at the time was like the biggest YouTube sensation ever. Like he was like the original, like 14 million subscribers YouTube guy. And he was like a family vlogger, right? And he was talking about how, you know, when he started his page, like he was just putting out his family the whole time. And they were asking him like, did you Like, how did you handle all the hate towards that? He's like, truthfully, like, it wasn't a problem until it was a problem from the standpoint of you reach this new level of success that you never thought that you would get to, and you cannot avoid it. Like, you have to figure out a way to like kind of come to grips with it and, still be like respectful of everything. And I can't imagine, like, as you continue to grow to those types of levels, like, how you have to just at some point, like, I think even Joe Rogan talks about, like, if you tweet something, it's like you tweet it and then you put the phone away or something like that, and you just don't go into the comments anymore on stuff. So
yeah, and I completely agree, and I'm the exact same way. I'm not going to go through, like, if someone has a little bit of like a different view or a sense like of an argument, it's like I'm not trying to create a platform where it's like positive reinforcement choice is the only way.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's like if you get to a point where you're just deliberately being rude and attacking someone, then no, this is not the platform for you.
Yeah.
And especially I even like started realizing it's like if you're coming and you're attacking and you don't even follow, I'm just like, why are you here? Like you literally found the video and then just had nothing better to do.
Yeah.
And so
Crazy.
those are definitely where I'm just like, no, we're done.